We recently talked to Idaho State Police's Laboratory System Director. The teams there primarily investigate DNA samples. Director Matthew Emmett explains how the technology and processes around DNA evidence have changed in recent years, broadening their scope.
The primary focus of our team is on DNA analysis. The technologies have also changed. And so while the technologies that we currently use are very applicable, they also have limitations in the sense of what we can do with them. We're looking for a match either to a suspect, if we have their DNA, or we're looking for a match in a database. The new technologies are looking more for familial type relationships.
It used to be that investigators would have to search through law enforcement databases to find DNA matches, leaving a glaring blind spot for those whose DNA isn't in such databases. Because of improvement in technology and people knowingly choosing to opt into some third-party ancestry companies, he said investigators have new tools to investigate cases both new and old.
So the technology itself has become more sophisticated. We're not looking at specific markers on the DNA. We're looking at the entirety of the DNA. We're looking at the actual sequence. We're looking at the entire DNA sequence. In a lot of these cases, we're doing whole genome sequencing, and we're finding the right people. However, the technique has changed. The science has evolved.
ISP even hiring a professional genealogist alongside their existing team of forensic DNA experts. That genealogist's job to look at family trees and help work on familial relationships and connections to identify perpetrators of crimes. Emmett says all of this is contributing to the success of the department, which is now one of America's most efficient crime labs. It ranked 12th out of 188 forensic science labs around the country. Emmett credits that success to a well-established team ready and willing to learn on the fly.
They're going to national conferences, they're integrating with individuals there, they're finding out, is somebody else doing something else, and we're integrating that into our teams. We've found some really great best practices, especially as it comes to finding individuals that may owe DNA to the state.
Emmett says the team continues to look and improve on new best practices. This has led them to seek and form partnerships with agencies from out of state to assist in investigations and to hold each other accountable as they explore the bleeding edge of DNA technology. Running a lab like ISP's forensic lab requires top talent, which can be difficult to find. Emmett spoke to the importance of the lab having the latest tools and tech to attract the brightest talent in the field and to have that access supporting strong salaries.
We always want to make sure that we have a top-notch laboratory. People want to work in an environment where they have the tools to be able to do their job, and that's vitally important. If we're going to attract top talent in science, we need to make sure that we are also compensating them appropriate to what we're asking them to do.
In order to keep the best tools available and pay high enough salaries to hire that top talent, the lab requires significant funding, both state and federal, raising several million federal dollars to set up the lab and teams, supported by state-level funds for areas not covered by those federal grants. The lab is active in multiple investigations throughout the state of Idaho.
And now we're at a position where we can offer these services to any agency, any law enforcement agency in our state. State agencies, local agencies, they all have the ability to come to us. We have the ability to pay for the testing. We have the ability to work those cases with them, for them, and really it becomes an a la carte approach for them.
Emmett says he feels that approach is mandated by the state. He says it's important the lab supports law enforcement in Idaho that doesn't have the same resources, training, or ability to pay for high-level scientific work, providing the ability to both help solve cases here at home and push the whole of the scientific field forward. We'll continue to report on the work being done at the Idaho State Police Lab. I'm Dakota Castett's DJ reporting in studio.